Hi Stampers, it's Christine from Christine's Stamping Spot. Happy Monday, only 2 more weeks till Christmas, do you believe it? I don't know if you guys are ready or not, I am not, but starting to get there. So we've got 2 weeks to work with, so we'll get it all done. So today I wanted to do another sort of fun fold type of card called Pop and Tilt card. And I saw the idea by Leanne Greff, who is an American demo. And I just kind of saw how she put everything together, but I kind of switched up my design. And we're going to use the Penguin Place stamp set, which we have used before. And it is a very popular one, this mini catalog. And it also comes as a bundle with the Penguin punch. Now this punch, I believe, may be on back order. Hopefully they're hoping to get some more in still in December. But good news is if you haven't purchased this yet and still want it and are not able to get it this December, we have been told that this will be in our next year's fall mini catalog. So you will still have a chance to purchase it then if you haven't had any luck getting it this time, because I know it's been on back order a number of times because it's been so popular. Okay, so Penguin Place you can find on page 33 of the mini, and this is the stamp set and the punch. It is sold as a bundle at 10% off. And the card we are going to make today is this one. And when you open it, it kind of tilts up like this, and you have your little penguin and your little greeting inside. So kind of a fun little one, and it's not difficult really to do. So let's get started, and I'll show you how we're going to put this together. Okay, so when you start, I started with a piece of Just Jade cardstock cut at 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. And this is a piece of our, unfortunately it's now retired, but it was in our fall celebration promotion. It was Penguin Playmates designer paper, which was meant to coordinate with the stamp set and punch and everything. So I am using this just because it all kind of coordinated, but you could definitely use a different kind of designer paper if you wanted. So this was cut at 4 by 4, and I will post all these measurements. So what you're going to do initially is you are going to adhere this down on your paper, and if you wanted you could fold this. Let's just fold this so you can kind of see. So you're going to stick this down, leaving a little bit of an edge, and then what you're going to do, we're going to use some of our circle dies to make this opening here. So with the circle dies, the one I used for the opening here was this largest circle. So what you're going to do, you're going to go to your die cutting machine, and you're going to just center this on here, and you're going to run it through. And when it comes out, you're going to have it cut like this with a hole in the center, and you're going to have these two pieces. Okay, so just be aware when you adhere this DSP down that you don't put any adhesive sort of in the center where your die is going to go, because you don't want these two to stick together. Okay, so this piece we aren't going to need, but you can save it for a different project. Now this piece, we're going to cut another die with it, and it's from the same layering circles, but it is this second largest sort of scallop die. Now what you're going to do is you're going to lay it on top of the jade that was cut out. Now, just to be aware, it's just like a hairline that you're going to cut off, but it's enough that when it comes out, it will come out looking like this. So you'll have a little scallop, okay? So you'll have that scallop, and I did cut out a separate circle, also with that large circle die. out of the fresh freesia. Okay, so I've cut one out of fresh freesia. You're gonna have one that comes out of the Just Jade from your base, and then the Just Jade piece, just to reiterate, you're going to trim that down with the scallop die, and you will have this circle. So then you are going to place these on top of each other. So we'll go ahead and do that. I think we'll do some of the kind of decorating parts, and then we'll just sort of assemble all of this at the end. Okay, so we'll put this here. And we've got this part, so I just want to finish decorating this front like we did here. So what I did is I also cut a piece of the fresh freesia. This is 4 by 1 by 1.5. And then I cut another piece of that coordinating paper. I just used the back side of that star image, and it's got a couple of the little critters on there, and we're just going to layer those on top of each other. Oops. And this designer paper is 4 by 1.25, so it's about 1/4 inch narrower. And then we can put this on the bottom here, like so, leaving a little bit of a border again. And then for the greeting, what I did is out of Just Jade, and with Just Jade ink, I stamped the message from the stamp set, "Be cool, be chill, be merry," and cut that out with our stitched rectangle dies. So then I'm just going to pop this up with some minis on the front, like so. And we will just center this here. Whoops, stuck to my fingers. We'll just center that on this DSP. Unfortunately, we're covering up some of our little guys. It all depends which part of the paper you cut. Okay, so now we're gonna put a piece of basic white here inside of our card, and that's cut at 5 1/4 by 4. And I am gonna stamp a greeting on here like I did, "Wishing you a Merry Christmas." And that came from the Frosted Gingerbread stamp set, "Wishing you a Merry Christmas." There are other images in the penguin set, but for me, I found them just to be a little bit too small for an inside greeting. So we're gonna use that one from the Peppermint and Gingerbread stamp set. And I'm just gonna stamp that in Just Jade ink as well. And just a tip, when you stamp this, make sure that you stamp it a little bit lower, because with this circle, you don't want it too high up or the circle is going to cover your message. So even this one's a little bit high, so I might try to put it just a little bit lower. Let's see if I can get this sort of straight, like so. Okay, close that one up. And then what we can do is put this on the inside of our card. Let's put my sample here, get myself a little mixed up. Okay, so we're just gonna put our greeting in here, and it is important that you put this piece in here before we attach our little mechanism to help it tilt. Okay, so that's what we have so far. Okay, so now I think what we will do still is decorate our little white circle. So the white circle is also from the dies, and it is basically, this was the largest that we used. So for the white circle, I used the second largest, and that is what will cut out your circle here. Okay. All right, so for this circle, we're going to do a bit of stamping with these trees. So again, this is from the penguin set. And I'm going to stamp them in Evening Evergreen. You could stamp them in Just Jade if you wanted, but let's try the Evergreen. So I have my little tree here, and I'm just going to stamp probably about, I think, maybe only 2 or so, because the penguin is going to cover up a fair bit. And I'm going to put them a little more to this side, I think, this time. So we'll do one, and then we'll do another one fairly close together here, okay? And then we are going to take this sort of hill kind of snowbank image, ink that up also in the green, and then we're just going to kind of put that along the base of our tree to give it a little bit of a slope there. Okay, so now for our cute little penguin. I think what I will do, because I think I'm going to put the penguin on dimensionals, so I can put this on here already. And we will just stick that in the center, like so. So for our penguin, I used the penguin punch, the builder punch. So what I did, and I've kind of done a little bit of stamping ahead of time here, but I'll just show you the pieces. So with the punch, you've got sort of the outline for the black of the penguin, and this piece is meant for the inside of the penguin. Maybe I should turn it this way so you can see. So what I did was I stamped out of basic white this body piece, and then this black I stamped out of our black glimmer paper. You could just do it on basic black cardstock. That's very penguinish as well. That works just as well. And then this is for his feet. So I cut 2 of these out of the pumpkin pie. And then with the stamp set, I stamped his eyes and his nose. So the eyes are in tuxedo black, the nose is pumpkin pie. And then the scarf, I just stamped with Just Jade on basic white, and I fussy cut that. And then I also fussy cut his hat, his toque, stamped that in Just Jade as well. Oh my gosh, this is all sticking to my fingers. Okay, so because this is glimmer paper, sometimes I find that adhesive doesn't always stay stuck. So you want something a little bit stronger. And so for this, I think I'm just going to use glue dots to attach the white onto the glimmer paper. So I'm just going to take a few of these glue dots off of here, if I can find them. And I guess you could use tear and tape, or even Tombow, I suppose, would be fine. Now, this is me saying, you know, I find sometimes it doesn't always stay attached, but I know that was often the case with our old snail adhesive. Now, this is the new Stampin' Seal, so it could be a little bit stronger, and it might hold, you know, to the glimmer paper a little better, but I haven't tried it. So I'm just gonna work with the glue dots today. And maybe on another occasion I'll try it otherwise. So, okay, so then you're just going to put him, layer him on the black glimmer. And there you have your little penguin. He comes together really quick, actually, like so. And then we're going to attach his hat, and I'm going to do that with a glue dot as well, because it's going to be sitting on top of the glimmer. So probably just one glue dot is good for that. Oops, I think I might have got 2 there. Okay. So let's just put his toque on here. Straight would help. And there's our little penguin. Okay, he's so cute. And I love the glimmer. You can just see that shine. It's so cute. Okay, so then I am going to pop him up here with some dimensionals. So I'll just use the larger ones. Use 2 of those. And we will stick him over here so he doesn't run into the trees. So that will be our circle. Okay, so getting back now, we're going to try to do our mechanism. So for that, something just went flying on the floor. For that, I used Just Jade as well. And this is cut, let me see, at 4.5 by 2, and it is scored at every inch. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and this basically is like a 1/2 inch. So on this 1/2 inch side, I am going to add a little bit of tear and tape, or Tombow is good as well. And I'm going to take this off and then fold it and fold this part up and seal it, and it makes like a box. Okay, see, it's like a box. Okay, so then we have another piece here of the Just Jade, and this is cut at 1 by 2, so 2 by 1, and you're just going to fold that in half. Okay, and maybe give it a little burnish with your bone folder. And then what we're going to do is we're going to attach it into the center of the box, okay, on one side, with the flap going this way, so sort of facing forward, okay? So I'm going to put a little bit of tear and tape on the one side. And it's always so fun to try these new flip cards and tilt cards and all these other names they have for these fun full cards. Okay, so then I'm just going to line this up pretty much eyeball center. Okay, press down, and then you have this flap that is like this. Okay, so now what we have to do is attach it in here. Okay, so what you're going to do you're going to have your flap on the top, okay, and on the bottom, so you can flip it over, you're going to attach some more either Tombow or your tear and tape. Okay, so probably just 2 pieces will be enough. Here, okay. And make sure that that is on the bottom. So here is my little flap, and on the underside is my tear and tape. So then what you're going to do is you're going to line this up with the flap pointing that way, okay, pointing toward the center hole that you've cut out. And you're going to line up this edge centered, excuse my head, kind of right along this score line here, your center line, okay, like so. And this is what's going to move back and forth, okay? So when it's closed, it'll be like this, right? So now what we want to do is we want to put some more either Tombow or tear and tape on this flap, and then we are going to attach our circle, okay? So let me just rip off a couple more pieces. I'm just partial to tear and tape. I just think it's so great, and it's so strong and doesn't make a mess and all of that. So this piece is a little bit long, so let's try to peel this off first. And maybe I'll just put this sort of at an angle. As long as it's gonna hold, so I'm not too worried which direction I put this down. Okay, so now you have this, And what you want to do is attach your circle, but make sure that it's as straight as you can get it, okay? Fitting inside the circle you've cut out. So we're just gonna lay this inside, give it a little push down, and then when you open it, oh, did this come off? Oh, you know the step I forgot? Oh my goodness. I forgot to put some adhesive here. That's what I forgot. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to put a little bit of tear and tape right under this circle opening because we want the top, of course, to stick to our mechanism so it pulls. That was kind of an important step. Sorry, girls, or guys. Yeah, that's kind of important, but luckily it's still in a position where it can be fixed. Okay, so I'm just going to push this down here. Okay, so when this is down, I'm going to go, ta-da! There he is. He works. And by attaching this, it pulls up the mechanism, right? And that'll pull up your little penguin. So then he'll flop back down like so. He'll fit right in the center. And boom, when they open him, he'll be like that. And you can still write your little greeting there. And they can even just leave it propped open on their table if they want. So pretty cute, I think. That's kind of a neat twist on a fun fold card. I did want to share one other one that I did. And it's a different orientation. So this is more, portrait, I guess. This one is more sort of a landscape. And I did it with our deer punch. And this is some of the old Peaceful Prince designer paper that was also was a celebration item this year. So the colors I used here were Garden Green and Crumb Cake and that DSP. I just love the birch. And then when you open it, your deer pops up. Now here's an example of where I probably should have tried to stamp a little bit lower. So maybe just make a mental note if you are going to try one of these cards that your greeting is a little bit lower. Like you can see what it says. It's not, not too bad, but I would have preferred it to be a little bit lower so then you didn't have to move him. But it works in this orientation as well. And I kind of like this one too. I think that's really neat. And I use the same greeting from the frosted gingerbread as well. So just some twists on fun fold cards this week. And I do have a host code for December if anyone's interested. Our mini does go until January 3rd, I believe. And some of these products are on the retiring list. So if there is something you absolutely would still love, make sure you try to get that order in before January 3rd. And you can do that on my website, on my online store at christineludwig.stampinup.net. And the host code for December, CJSEAY7N. And you're also welcome to follow me on Facebook, Pinterest, and my new YouTube channel, which I'd love if you would subscribe to while you're there. It's free to subscribe. And there are some other videos and projects on there as well that might interest you. So I hope you enjoyed those fun fold projects this week, and we will see you again next time. Have a great week, everyone. Bye for now.